All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call Haloyam Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right, so once again, all right, I'm going to this book, all right, titled Mega Forces, Signs and Wonders of the Coming Chaos by Texe. All right, and if you scroll down my timeline on my YouTube page, I have already done many lessons on this book, going into this book, man. All right, but today I want to go into chapter 5, all right, which goes into the MOTB, all right, the mark of the beast. All right, now the mark of the beast is for certain. All right, I'm going to tell you the mark of the beast is for certain, for surety. All right, the digital micro C-hip that the elites want to implant under your skin. That is what the mark of the beast is. All right, because you have false prophets out there that will tell you that the mark of the beast is not the digital micro C-hip. You understand? Which indeed it is the digital micro C-hip that the elites want to implant under your skin. That is what the mark of the beast is. You have false prophets that will tell you that the mark of the beast is not the micro C-hip, the microchip, the digital chocolate chip. All right? They'll tell you that the mark of the beast is a spiritual thing. All right? No, the mark of the beast is an actual physical, tangible thing. All right? Again, which is the digital chocolate chip, the digital chocolate micro C-hip. All right? That the elites want to implant under your skin, man. All right? If you got if you got a prophet telling you something other, all right? If you got someone who claims to be a prophet telling you that the mark of the beast is not a physical, tangible thing, all right, that it is not the microchip, then you run from them fast, man. That man has not the truth. All right, and his gospel and his doctrine is flawed. All right, so we're gonna get into page 80 here. All right, which goes into it. All right, yeah, page 80. This is chapter 5. All right, chapter 5, page 80. All right. Let me zoom in real quick. All right. So it says computer technologies. All right. It says computer technologies have particularly amplified the potential for abuse. For example, a new computer chip so tiny. All right. Now you got to remember. All right. This book is written by Texe in 1988. All right. So let's begin reading. It says, computer technologies have particularly amplified the potential for abuse. For example, a new computer chip so tiny it can barely be seen can be placed under a person's skin with a syringe to serve a permanent electronic coding or message system. This is, you see, message system. All right, this is going into the mark of the beast. All right, and then we're going to grab that, all right, in Revelation 13, all right, Revelation 13 and 16 through 18, all right, which says, a mark which, that only the ones that receive it are only able to buy and sell, all right. You're not going to be able to buy or sell anything without the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, man. All right, that the elites want to implant under your skin. You see? All right, and we're gonna break it down when we go into that later. All right, it says computer technologies have particularly amplified the potential for abuse. For example, a new computer chip so tiny it can barely be seen can be placed under a person's skin with a syringe to serve a permanent electronic coding or message system. All right. When the chip passes through a magnetic monitoring device, it is read. Manufactured, all right, by a California company, these computer chips are currently used to assign high-tech brands, all right, on cattle and prevent rustling. And that's what the elites, the the fake Jewish elite Edomite wicked banking families, all right, they call us Goy or Goyim, right? All right, and they're trying to brand their cattle, all right, the masses of the people on this earth. They're trying to brand them with what? The MOTB, the mark of the beast, the digital C hit, man. All right. It says these computer chips are currently used to assign high-tech brands on cattle and prevent rustling. All right. It says in the future, says computer experts, they may replace credit cards and other ID documents. You see? All right. It says the chips could be used to identify persons making purchases, all right, and to automatically credit or debit their accounts at financial institution. You see, the scriptures say, all right, no man may buy or sell save he that have the mark. You see? And you got false prophets out there that will tell that don't even know what the mark of the beast is, or they'll tell you that the mark of the beast is not a physical thing. They'll tell you it's a spiritual thing. They'll tell you that it isn't. They'll tell you that it is not. All right, the RFID microchip. You know, bugged out is all hell, man. All right, the scripture says the line, if the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into a ditch, man. All right, it says, and this is one of the most major, most critical prophecies, all right, in the scriptures. All right, so the true prophets of the Lord have to get it right, man. They have it right. That's why they're the true prophets of the Lord, man. All right, the true prophets of the Lord, all right, first and foremost, all right, are the Israelites of Great Millstone. All right, they are telling you that the mark of the beast is the RFID micro C hip, the RFID microchip, man. Anybody telling you anything else, they're not the true prophets of the Lord, man. All right, it says the firm making these identification chips is one of several companies coming out with similar systems. For example, all right, matter of fact, let me read this one more time. It says the chips could be used to identify persons making purchases and to automatically, all right, credit or debit their accounts at a financial institution. All right, the firm making these identification chips is one of several companies coming out with similar systems. For example, Japan's giant Toshiba Corporation has developed a new smart identification card. All right. The new card can electronically transfer funds to stores and from banks, hold a person's entire medical or criminal history, and serve as a passport, a social security card, or even register a person's arrival and departure times at airport terminals. And that's exactly what the MOTB is going to be. The mark of the beast is going to be. They're going to make it sound real convenient. Oh, it's going to hold your money, your medical records. All right, it's going to be an ID system. It's going to hold your social security number. It's going to be a passport. You know, it's going to be all these things. They're going to make it sound real convenient for you so you can take you, be like, oh, yeah, you're never going to lose your money, because it's going to be in you, all right? And a lot of these people are going to be deceived, man, and y'all going to take it. And if you take it, you're going to be destroyed by nuclear fire. You understand? All right? It says, for example, Japan's giant Toshiba Corporation has developed a new smart identification card. That's why you have, your smartphones, all right, because they can also be used, to pay. All right, so y'all got that Apple Pay or that Google Pay on it. You just tap it against the little scan thing, and it reads. You can pay like that. All right. But now the MOTB is gonna be a smart chip. All right. You know, it says now the size of a regular credit card. Future technological advances will allow the card to shrink to a size which allows permanent implementation of the operating chip under the skin of the human body. Woo! All right. You see? Come on, man. It says huge computer data banks are constantly getting bigger. All right? And every MOTB, all right, is that's going to be implanted unto us, the people who take it. All right, it's all going to report back to a major computer system, a supercomputer, man. All that data, all your data, man. All right, huge computer data banks are constantly getting bigger. The IRS, the FBI, the CIA, and a number of private firms now have access to hundreds of millions of computer dossiers. You see, all right. In late 1985, the super secret National Security Agency (NSA), all right, opened a highly classified supercomputer research center in Maryland, employing 100 of the United States' top computer experts. All right, according to NSA's director, all right, I think that's Lieutenant General Lincoln Flores. All right, the center, costing an estimate 180 million, will provide state-of-the-art technological sophistication crucial to the security, interest, and economic well-being of the United States. All right, this is a laudable goal. Yet Senator William Cohen of Maine, in a recent committee hearing on computer abuses, warned, "I think we're rapidly approaching a society in which the human voice is not going to be heard above the whir of the computer." All right, let's continue reading. It says, Super Cops. It says, in the October 1985 issue of the Futurist magazine, Dr. James R. Metz, a law enforcement expert from Lexington, South Carolina, described the many tech tools that will be in common use by police forces in the years to come. All right. And you see, these police, they have new technologies now. All right. It says Metz notes that in the past, a policeman was given a badge and a gun and told him to hit the streets. But tomorrow's super cops will have an array of sophisticated devices with which do to their job. All right. Among the futuristic police devices, many are already in use. All right. Are the laser gun. All right. Yeah, because the military force is the police force is being militarized, man. All right. You see these police forces now, they have all types of, looks like they're vets, coming out of their cars and all of that, man. All right. It says many are already in used. All right. Are laser guns, a weapon that stuns a victim with electrical shock without causing permanent injury or leaving external signs of body damage. All right. Light guns and electronic restraints. Robots are also being put to use. Yep, you see that happening now. All right. It says novel devices include the space bucket and jetpack, which allow a police officer to soar above and around congestion and hover only a few feet above the ground. Computer networks, says Metz, will provide birth to death dossiers, giving officers immediate field information. All right, now it says brain machines. All right, which is also going into the MOTB. All right, because it says to mark them with to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, it says brain machines. Although the futuristic police equipment described above is being developed for worthwhile purposes, its abuse by a government less democratic than that of today's democracies could bring terror to a beleaguered populace. All right. However, there are other devices now being studied that hold the potential for such monumental abuse. All right, that it is reasonable to ask if experimentation should be allowed to continue. I refer to brain machines. All right, proposed devices that can be hooked up to or coupled with a person's brain to alter that person's thinking process. And you see that happening now. All right, you got Elon Musk with his Neuralink, which is a brain chip. All right, you know, and that's why they want to because with the microchip, they're going to have literally complete control over you, man. Complete control over your own resources and your mind, man. Control your mind. You know, because Esau, Edom, all right, the so-called white man, starting with the elite banking families, the devil that the Bible speaks of, all right, he has a God complex. He's trying to be God, trying to be like the Most High, like Second Thessalonians, the second chapter. All right, he sitteth in the temple of the Most High, claiming that he is the Most High, talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, starting with the elite banking families. They're trying to be like the Most High. They're trying to have complete control over everyone. You know? All right. It says Dr. Jose Delgado, a Spanish neuroscientist and researcher, is experimenting with brain machines. In one experiment, he implanted electrodes in the brain of a 1,000-pound bull. As the huge beast lunged at Delgado, the scientist used a radio signal to activate the electrodes, all right, in the animal's brain, whereupon the bull came to a sudden halt. You see? And then they're going to be able to do that exact thing with you, man. All right, to the people that take it, man. All right, it says Delgado and other researchers have discovered that electromagnetic fields can seriously disrupt and otherwise affect brain activity and the body's nervous system. Ooh. All right, under the influence of varying electromagnetic fields, some monkeys have been successfully commanded to fall asleep, while others were made to become hyperactive and restless. All right, it says the Soviet Union is hard at work to harness the power of microwaves and other electromagnetic fields to influence the behavior of human beings. Soviet scientists have even constructed a machine that bombards a person's brain from long distance with radio waves, producing tranquilized or trance-like states. All right. See Esau Edom, you know, his blessing was the sword, man. He has all types of technology, bro, that you ain't never seen or heard of. But that was his blessing. That was Esau Edom's blessing, the sword. And the Lord uses Esau Edom as his sword. You know, so the Lord has Esau Edom controlling all the Lord has Esau Edom creating all these type of weapons and technologies to create all types of destruction and bring the whole world at a whack, and you know, like the scriptures say. All right. He changed the ordinances thereof, you know. All right. It says where was I at? It says such machines are also being tested currently at a United States Veterans Administration hospital. All right. Let's read a little more. It says in their book The Mind Race, scientists Russell Targ and Keith Harari outlined some of the research underway in the Soviet Union. Research actually described to the authors by the Soviet scientists themselves. In one experiment, the Soviets induced heart attacks in rats with electromagnetic generators. In another, and a device put an entire half full of people to sleep in 15 minutes. All right, even more ominous, even more ominous. All right, was the use of an electronic oscillator. All right, when brought near human patients' heads by the researchers, the instrument apparently caused the patients to have mystical or religious types of experience. All right, in the United States and elsewhere, it has been demonstrated that electrical impulses fed into specific regions of the brain's cerebral cortex can radically alter personality. You see, all right. In experiments, a cat became terrified at the mere sight of a mouse, and an unfriendly, vicious monkey became friendly and gentle. All right, dream machines. All right, once were a popular topic of science fiction writers, but today such machines attached to the human brain with electrodes or possibly implanted on a microchip are on the threshold of becoming reality. Yeah, all right, it's right around the corner. It's already here. It just has to be made mandatory. All right, the MOTB. All right, let's see, man. All right. It says right here, the thought of being threatened with a lifetime on such a machine would induce sheer terror in a person's mind. Never in human history have tyrants and madmen had such tools. And who are those madmen? All right, the elites. All right, tools which they can use to terrorize an individual or an entire population. Yeah, and that's their goal. That's their plan. All right, the scriptures say, "He shall cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead." All right, Revelation, I think it's the 3rd chapter, the 10th verse. It says let's get it, man. Let's get it, bro. All right, Revelation, the 3rd chapter. All right, the 10th verse. It says, and this is Yahushua speaking, all right, Revelation 3 and 10, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation." The hour of temptation is when the MOTB, the mark of the beast, is made mandatory, all right, "which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth," all right, because he wants to control this entire earth, all right. It's going to come upon all people. All right, all people. All right, so now let's get Revelation, all right, 13, all right, and break this down and show you that it is talking about an actual physical, tangible thing that the elites want to implant in you, man. All right, the mark of the beast. All right, so it says, Revelation 13 and 16, "And he causes all right, everyone on this earth, all right, that he is talking about Esau, Edom. That's his goal. That's part of his agenda, all right, to make everyone a complete slave, all right, through his technology, which is the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, all right, Revelation 3 and 16, all right, "And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." And we were just reading about it in this book right here, all right. That mark is talking about the digital microchip, man, that the elites want to implant under your skin. It's an actual physical mark, not a spiritual thing, man. All right, "And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 scoring 6666. So let's break this down, man. All right. The New Testament was translated into English, all right, from the Greek language, all right. When you translate words from their original language to another language, those words lose power. So you got to go back into the original languages to see what the scriptures are actually saying. When you go into this word mark here in the Greek, all right, the word there is charagma. All right, you see? In Greek, the word there is charagma. All right, charagma. All right, which means to cut. All right. It said, yeah, a stamp, an imprinted mark. You see? Things carved, sculpture, graven work. All right? Of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand of the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. All right? Which, these wacky tacky Christians, the word Antichrist, all right, just means against the anointed. All right? The word anti meaning against, and Christ comes from the Greek word Christos, which means anointed. All right, which there's not a one man coming known as the Antichrist like these Christians believe. That's not biblical. All right, they believe there's one man coming known as the Antichrist and he's going to deceive all. No. All right, anyone could be an Antichrist. If you're against the Messiah, if you're an atheist, you're an Antichrist. If you're against Yahweh Shai and preaching the true doctrine, you're an Antichrist. All right. In 1 John, it says right here, 1 John 2:18, it says, little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard, that Antichrist shall come. Even now there are many Antichrists. Yeah, there are many Antichrists. Anyone could be an Antichrist. If you're against the Messiah, against this truth, this word, you're an Antichrist. All right. All right. So now let's go back. It says, so the word there for mark, all right, in the Greek, all right, he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That word there for mark, again, is charagma. All right, charagma, which means, all right, a stamp and imprinted mark, showing you that it's a physical thing. But now when you go to the etymology of the word charagma, all right, it goes into the word charax. All right, charax. All right, which means a pale or stake, a palisade. All right, which represents the instrument they're going to use to put the charagma in you, the mark in you. All right, and we read that earlier. When we go back into this book, it says right here. It says, for example, a new computer chip so tiny it can barely be seen can be placed under a person's skin with a syringe. All right, that's the instrument they're going to use to put it in you. All right, with a syringe to serve as a permanent electronic coding or message system. All right, and that's what the word karak means, a pale or stake, a palisade, which represents the instrument, that syringe they're going to use to put the mark in you. But let's not stop there. All right, the word, the etymology for the word karax is what? Grapho. All right, grapho. All right, which means to write with reference to form of letters, to delineate letters on a tablet, parchment paper, or other material, to write with reference to contents of writing. All right, to write to one, i.e. by writing, to give information. All right, to fill with writing. Yeah, because a lot of information is going to be on that little that microchip that they want to implant in you. Your medical records. All right, your ID, who you are. All right, things you're allergic to, your account, your banking account, and all that. All right, all types of information is going to be on there, man. Your passport, all of that, man. You see? All right, but now let's go back. All right, it said, let's read verse 18. It says, Revelation 13:18. It says, here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 scoring 6. All right, now, which is 666. 666 in the Greek is chi psi stigma. All right, like you see here, chi psi stigma. Let's get it.
Strong's G 5516. Chi, Xi, stigma. Chi, Xi, stigma.
All right, please excuse me. Let me play that again. I had to pause the video real quick. All right, 666 in the Greek is chi, psi, stigma. Let's get that again.
Strong's G 5516. Chi, Xi, stigma. Chi, Xi, stigma.
All right, chi, psi, stigma. Now, when you get that word stigma in the Greek, all right, what does it mean? All right, a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. Woo! All right, that's how you know the mark is a physical thing, man. All right. A mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander branded. All right. Yeah, let me read that again. It says a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to. Yeah, and basically, you know, if you take that chip, you're bound down to Satan. You're bound down to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the devil. All right, you're basically Esau, Edom's bitch, man. You know, straight up. You know, it says, and there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their God. Yeah, so there's gonna be people who just willingly can't wait to line up for that MOTB, man. All right, you are not. You are not. I am talking to the elect of you Israelites. All right, you Negroes, you Latinos, and you Native Americans, and also you Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth under these other nations looking like the other nations. You are not to take the mark of the beast. All right, the mark of the beast is the digital micro C-hip that the elites want to implant in you. If you take it, you are going to be destroyed by nuclear fire. That is the punishment for taking the mark of the beast, man. All right. So let's get that. All right. This is the punishment, all right, for taking the mark of the beast. All right. Revelation 14 and 9. Let's read it. It says, Revelation 14 and 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, which is the New World Order, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God. Yeah, you're gonna drink the wrath of the Most High, which is the nuclear missile. Let's keep reading. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. The word indignation means righteous anger. All right. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Yeah, that fire and brimstone is talking about the nuclear missiles that are going to hit this earth in World War III. All right, in World War III, mainly here in America. All right, because America is going to be wiped off the face of this earth by thermonuclear destruction. All right, that's the will of the Lord, for Babylon to be completely destroyed and become desolate, a wasteland, a wilderness. All right, by the way of thermonuclear destruction. That's what's going to happen in this third world war, America being destroyed. All right, it says in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Yeah, so the Lord and the angels, they just gonna watch you burn, man. Because you took the MOTB. You didn't take heed to the warning, man. You didn't come back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. You know? All right, so I'll just leave it at that, man. All right? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. All right? Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Rat Tazad, this lesson was edifying. All right? I want to say, call Halalyam, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kwitash. All right. So, with that being said, until the next one, Shalom.